That's it. Just a normal PLC.
All right.
All right.
Can you guys see the PLC form?
Yes.
Yep. Okay, cool. Figured it
Look
out.
at us.
Yes. All right, let me put the dates in here. 2nd grade. Emma Becky. All right. Now we're going to talk about benchmark. Yes. So we are on
week 2.
Unit 8, week 2. And that's the drama. It's the play.
Yeah, and that's what the whole test is too.
Yes. Drama. Do we want to go over some of the questions that are on it?
Yeah, I'm going to do the little review question either today or tomorrow. You know, the sheet that we have that mimics the questions on the test. So I'm going to go over that today or tomorrow. We're going to go through the play again today and talk about the suffixes because I haven't done that yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then those questions that they have, you know, that are on the pages with the vocabulary words, those kinds of questions. I'm going to talk about those questions and have them turn and talk at their tables.
Yeah, the test too asks them to show the difference, like how the character acted at the beginning versus how they changed to the end of the story too, which always seems to be a really hard, at least for my group of students, it always seems to be very, very hard.
Right. So we could talk about things like, you know, how did you feel at the beginning of the year versus how you feel now to bring it back to them.
Are you guys having them act out the play too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've just kind of had them keep the same parts every time. It just kind of help those lower readers.
Yes.
And then yesterday I randomly, so I had 5 groups and then I just pulled one character from each group and then had that group do it for everybody. So everybody could see somebody do it other than just huddling in their group.
Yeah. My kids, I had them split up into groups and then they went in the front, each group went in front of the room and did it. And then today I told them I'd give them another chance to kind of read it and do it again. And then maybe act it out a little more. Like at one point they're at a table sitting and things like that.
Right.
So that was the plan. And we're talking about the parts of a drama or a play and how you know it's a play and not just a story and dialogue. And
I guess, and my concern about the test on Friday is, so they're reading it, you know, now we've practiced it as people reading their parts and that's how they've experienced it. But then on the test, they're going to be just
reading it on their own.
And so I don't know how to bridge that gap between them having a part and seeing it played out and then them reading all the parts. I just don't.
I almost wish this one we could just do as a class and then they just answer the questions on their own for the test.
Right.
Like do the play together as a class and then they answer the questions. But
yeah,
I don't know. But I don't think there's as many people in this one. Isn't there only like
no, there's only 3 characters. Yeah.
So it should be a little easier than the 6 that were in the story this week. So
right.
I don't know. I guess maybe I'll read it aloud to them today.
But I think also what's going to get them mixed up is that our phonics pattern is that ER-OR, but it's like a person who, so like the teacher, but then they have the ER suffix as in more. So they have a question, what is the meaning of richer? So it's more rich. But then
the person who is rich.
All week we've been talking about ER can also be a person who.
Right.
So then there's the question, one who is rich. So I can guarantee that that one is going to be.
And how do you tell them, how do you explain to them that like they have to read the context clues?
Right. I think that's
But
what it is. So we'll definitely have to be talking about context.
That's going to probably be one that they
Sorry, I was grabbing my test.
are going to get wrong.
Well, and could they pick any more difficult names? Elisa or Alicia, however you pronounce it.
I just tell my kids to make up new names.
Right.
Whatever they want. How about start with the same letter, so then at least when you take the test, you know which one you were talking about.
Well, and I don't know. I've been trying to figure out a way to bridge what we do during the week to then have them find success on the test. And the test takes so long as it is, but I'm wondering if I start making a hard copy of just the story and making them go back and highlight the answer to the question. I don't know.
That I've done that. The thing is
yeah, it's not always
during
cut
the
and
week,
dry.
I read the story to them initially and we talk about it. And if I read the story to them on Friday, I guarantee half my class, or the ones that aren't already doing well, more than half of those would do exceptionally well because I've read the story. They spend more time decoding the actual story and they're not reading for meaning yet. So, and the story is so far beyond anything that they can read or even decode anyways,
Right.
that they aren't,
Right.
that by the time they get through the first sentence, they already forgot what happened in the first sentence.
Well, and I don't think that I don't think there's, well, I don't know. I guess it goes back to that question, what are we evaluating? Are we evaluating that they can read it, or are we evaluating that they can comprehend it? And I know that it goes together.
But there's not even that much like comprehension questions on, I don't know. I feel like,
yeah,
there's not even a whole lot of, it's a lot of, shades of meaning. To me, that's not necessarily a comprehension question. That's a skill.
And even what does richer mean? Well,
suffixes, right? Like, but I feel like there's a whole lot more than.
Well, and I feel like we aren't ever hitting a skill hard. We aren't ever hitting it hard. We're hurrying, we're glossing over it because it's coming again, and we'll talk about it a little bit more again, and it's coming again, and we'll talk about it a little bit more. But I don't know if I ever have time to just really focus hit this so hard like we did when we did indicators.
I mean, I do it during my small groups, when we have that, and then my reading groups, but
right. But then you're only, I mean, the hard thing is too, because you're with your small group only, 15, 20 minutes.
Right.
So just enough to get them back and work on some phonics and then work on a skill and then do it all over the next day but you still have to add more skills. Like you can't just work on the same skill over and over again because we're talking about 7 different skills within 3 weeks.
Right.
I mean, that just makes it more difficult too.
And I always envision those
how to read.
And I always envision those groups giving them what they need at that time. So if it's more phonics or more fluency, that's what we're doing with that group.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I have 2 groups that are still just working on phonics pretty much. I mean, if they don't know how to read, how are they understanding these skills? So, I mean, there's one, I'm just working on blends and digraphs. And I mean, that's been a long time. Yes. We still don't understand blends and digraphs.
I know. I finally moved on with my lower group. I finally moved to our controlled vowels. They're just long vowels. We're like half getting it. But so I feel like I'm never mastering anything.
No,
but I have to move on to something else. They can't go to 3rd grade and not have at least been exposed to things.
Yes, I think exposure is a big thing, but
I feel like that's maybe all I'm doing is just exposing. I'm never mastering. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, but I'm trying to figure out a way to bridge that between what I do during the week and then giving them tools to have the ability to pass those tests or understand them because they're giving up.
Well, yeah, because the tests are getting harder. But maybe that's something that over our workday over the summer we can think of too, is like looking. I know we've already went through the tests and we've already, pulled out the skills and this and that, but maybe like, okay, this one is really, there's a lot of lessons on main idea, and this one is asking 4 questions out of the 6 questions of main idea. So maybe that's the skill we want to teach for that unit in our small groups, like whether they're, unless you know, I mean, if it's your small group that you're pulling back to your table, like I always do my phonics and the skills that they need, but then I usually have another time where they're doing something. So maybe during that time is when they're focusing on that skill, whether it's with Title I or my assistant or independently if they can.
Well, and maybe just thinking about IXL and exact path, I just a lot of times have them just work on their path, which I think is beneficial, but maybe I need to balance that more with, okay, this is main idea. There's a main, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, I assign some stuff on exact path. Sometimes the iPads, though, they're wonky, so exact path is hit or miss. But on IXL, if we're focusing on something and I know they need more practice, then I assign a specific skill, and then they have to go into that.
And I found a new website. I don't know if you guys have seen this. It's called Math Playground.
Yeah, my niece uses
Okay,
that.
I just discovered it. So I thought that was another good one. And it looked like there was maybe some phonics games on there too. So I thought about introducing that to them just as something different because I think we're getting burned out with the same couple, you know.
Yeah.
So
for our next PLC, do you want to focus on our next few math tests that we have coming up? What do we have? 12, 13?
Yeah, we have the questions picked for 12.
Okay.
I think I forwarded it to you, didn't I? To you guys?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. And I am meeting again.
Amy, are you giving your Envision test this week then?
Yes.
Topic
But I
11.
am not feeling as good about this one as I did for 11. Like 11, my kids did awesome, or 10, my kids did awesome. This one is, we are on the struggle bus of life here.
Well, we did not do well. This is the worst one we've done. I had one, I have 11 that I'm remediating because I thought this is one I need to just go over. So yesterday I pulled that group and then had Shayna do a game with the other kids. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
It is hard. I have one of these too that I made. I just like cut and pasted from our book. So it's all like the review questions.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I mean, it doesn't look pretty, but it's pretty much everything that's on the test, just obviously different. But yeah, I was giving the test and then I had to stop because
they're I mean, when it was 2-digit by 2-digit, I mean, most of them did pretty well, but I don't know, adding that third digit in, they are confusing themselves, I think.
Yeah. Well, they're already just not fluent in subtraction facts anyways.
Yes.
I mean, most of my class is great, like 80 to 100% in addition, but they, for the life of them, cannot understand like fact families.
And so many of mine want to count backwards and they can't, they just can't do it. So I'm trying to teach them to start with a low number and count up to the high number. But then some of them, especially if they don't have a number line right there, which I mean, most of them do. But then some of them, they'll say, okay, you know, what is 14 minus 8? And then they'll go 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's 14. No, that's
what I can't realize is that they have 5 fingers on this hand. So when I have 5 and one more is 6, they want to count all of them. Yes. So this group is low. Just
but
not.
They did make the biggest gains in math.
Reading, they made big gains in reading.
I mean, they've grown a lot. So
they have, but wowza. Just that, I think that common sense, critical thinking.
Great. But I think they're so young and they're such babies, and then they're overwhelmed and
and there's a lot of different skills too.
Huh?
There's a lot of different strategies to think about and use, and
I don't know when I'm meeting again with the curriculum team. I don't have a date written down. I'm sure we talked about it. You know, to know when we need to look at chapter 13. I know we're just starting 12, but so Anna, did you give chapter 11 test, topic 11?
No, well, I started it and then it was
You
not
stopped.
going well, so I stopped. And then hopefully tomorrow. And then I can do any makeups on Friday.
Yeah, that's my goal, is either tomorrow or Friday, possibly Friday. So I'm not that far behind you guys anymore. Look at
No.
that. Mm.
No
Oh, April 13th is my next meeting, and I need
questions for 13.
what is? I don't think we're doing 13. I think we're doing 14 and 15.
Oh,
What's topic 13? Let me grab my book. Oh, topic 13 is just more measurement, but it's more adding and subtracting lengths.
and then 14 is graphs.
I think 14 is graphs.
And what is 15?
I think it's
Shapes and their attributes?
and fractions. Yes.
Okay.
So we have graphs and then shapes and fractions.
And then that's it.
Yeah,
Really, shapes, fractions, and measurement should be fairly easy for them.
Yes.
The graphing sometimes is hard. I don't remember what the test looked like, but
Well, I mean, I think it's a lot of those problem-solving questions. So
how many more did this one
yeah.
have? So that's going to be hard. That's always
the
hard.
ones that, if there were 2 more oranges, what would the new that one will be
Yeah.
for my class? I
Yeah.
know.
So, all right. You guys have any?
I think we're good. Any comments or questions, needs?
Just okay, so the talent show is next week. What do we
Oh,
know?
yeah.
Oh yeah, here we can pause it, and then do you want me to go over?
Yeah.
Well, you guys just let me stop recording. All right.
And then I'll submit this.
Hold on, I don't know how to stop recording. There we go.